Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Koehler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Koehler.
Hi, team. I'm Fitz Koehler, your very noisy and bossy blah, blah, blah from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. We are in the heat of the Olympic Games, the 2024 Olympic Games in Paris. And we're going to talk about sex. That's right. Because when the world's greatest bodies get together, apparently things heat up. And what better of a place to do it than in Gay Paris, right? I hear there's been a great history of the big sex there. And who better to talk about sex at the Olympics than my daughter, the sex and relationship columnist, Ginger Koehler. Welcome to my show, Ginger Bean.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Hello.
Hi. Thank you for coming back.
Oh, you're welcome. We couldn't miss this opportunity to merge our two interests, fitness and sex.
That's right. That's right. And I got to tell you, whenever you're on the show, I get so much feedback. Everybody loves you. So thank you for being awesome.
Way better. Well, thank you. And for those who have not seen me, I know it's weird theoretically to have someone's daughter come on and be like, my daughter's here to talk about sex. That's my major. I'm a sex major. So we talk about it.
That's right. You're getting a journalism degree and a theories and politics of human sexuality. And basically you're going to teach sex the way I teach fitness via mass media.
Yeah, more or less. Yes. So
yeah, and you're good. So the Olympic Games, I mean, these are seriously not only the greatest athletes, but some of the greatest, most beautiful and capable bodies on earth. And so even when
they're so hot.
I was so hot, so much hotness. And so you got to kind of do the thing when you're in the Olympic Village, right?
I do it. Yeah. I think
I know.
Right. No, but like you were in that scenario. Yeah.
Oh, so this was my MO when I was a younger person. I did not sleep around. I just did not. I was very concerned about pregnancy and STDs. And so I did not do that. However, I kissed everybody. In fact, at the University of Florida, I think I only left about 2 to 3 boys who were at UF at the time that I was there that I did not kiss. And so at the Olympic Village, I would go after it hardcore. I would kiss everybody. Yeah, I would certainly kiss everybody.
Olympians.
I know. Maybe one.
You've been in that crowd, so we're about to learn.
I always got it. I always got along just fine. The boys were like, okay, if this is all I can get from her.
I'm sure you got along fine for little old University of Florida, but if you're in the Olympics, it's on.
Yeah. So before we start talking about all the wonderful research you've done and all the fun Olympic sex facts you've found, I would like to tell you that I have interviewed so many Olympians over the year, from Jackie Joyner-Kersee to Carl Lewis to blah, blah, blah. I mean, the list is endless. Oh, Dakota Lindstrom, who's doing the marathon this year. And I asked them, like, what's the Olympic Village like? And they all play coy with me. Not one of them have owned up to getting freaky over there. And I don't know if I'm buying it.
I am not buying it personally. If they're young and they're single, why not? And here's the thing. I was going to suggest that today we look at different Olympians and say, do we think they're getting it on? But considering that you interview them and that they are real life humans, that's probably not a good idea.
Yeah. I'd rather not target.
No, I'm not gonna. That's why I said I was going to. And then I quickly decided, bad suggestion. But I just want the universe to know that when I watch these Olympic clips, that is what I'm thinking about.
You're like, who's that one getting
after hours with this guy? And I make my good old predictions that will be confirmed or denied.
Have you seen the gold medal Italian swimmer? I can't even remember.
Oh my God. I was going to bring up that damn Italian. The whole team is so hot. But that one guy that goes like, he lifts up his arms and his shirt comes up. The girls fall to the floor. Yeah. Get him on this show.
I'm gonna have
I
to.
have a
I'm gonna have to.
boyfriend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn to speak Italiano, but that guy is smoking. Yeah, I didn't. He won. I was actually watching whichever race he won the first time, and then I started looking, and I was like, "Whew,
If
he's
I'm not
pretty
rooting for the
cute."
United States, I'm rooting for the hottest athlete. That's what I'm rooting
Yeah.
for.
Yes. Well, he felt your love because he
Yeah.
won his race. He's smoking though, boy.
Whoa.
It's so interesting with
Whoa.
the Olympic Games because obviously we're cheering for athleticism and all of these physical.
Yeah.
Incredible physical accomplishments. But then on occasion you get a look-see and you think, woo, because more than just Hollywood can be spectacular, right? We can crush on.
They've all got like the just different athletic body types being showcased, which people
That's right.
love. People
Yeah.
love. And if you just happen to have a little bit of face to go along with it, you're set.
Yeah, totally set. Okay, so you
Wait,
come
I'm not
on.
done.
Oh, okay. Keep
Speaking
going.
of hot people,
Yeah.
have you seen, I believe it is the pommel horse UF gymnast?
And
He's so cute.
I don't think he's a gator. Steven, what's his face? He's the one they're calling Clark Kent. He's not a gator.
They're calling
Because we actually don't have a men's gator gymnast.
Oh, I didn't say gator. I said US. Maybe I said
The
US,
American.
USA. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is he's giving like Peter Parker. I think he's more Spider-Man than Clark Kent. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's got the glass.
Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah, his name is like Steve Radanowski or something like that. So
cute.
He's adorable. You know what? I was actually telling your brother about him, and I didn't know the world was calling him Clark Kent, but I was saying how he was so very focused while the other guys were hooping it up as they were competing and doing great. He sat there quietly and just visualized. And then when he got up to the pommel horse, he pulled off his glasses. So cute. And he says, oh, because if I wear them, they fly off my face and I can't see anything. He said, I do the pommel horse by feel anyways, but so I actually love glasses. I think glasses can be really hot, especially in a really capable person where they have this very strong, capable thing. And then they have little glasses. It's just a little weakness. I find it very attractive.
It's very endearing. And I think people, as much as he is like an extremely cute little guy and hot, I mean, definitely.
Okay.
Whoa, but he's also I think his smile is really what roped people in. He's just he was very focused in his event, but he was very just happy to cheer on his teammates. And they talked about how I don't know if he's like a physics major or something. And he was using his degree to plan out exactly what moves would make most sense in like a scientific way. And he was solving Rubik's cubes out there. Like,
that's right. Yeah. You know what? Smart is always very sexy, I believe. I think smart is super hot. But yeah, he's got all these little qualities. I don't think if he just walked down the street, he has that classic appeal like Brad Pitt.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
When you put it all together, he's just adorable. I'm so glad he's ours. I'm so glad we get to claim this. Your Rubik's Cube, pommel horse, superhero guy is America's, right?
He's very Tom Holland to me.
Okay. All right. That's cute. Well, he's so giddy. He loves all the memes about him. And what a privilege to represent your country and then have people kind of low-key big key fall in love with you based on things other than your performance. He's adorable. Very wholesome.
Very wholesome. Yeah, everyone just is wonderful there, but he's a treat. He's like America's sweetheart right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just going to say, I mean, Simone Biles has all the respect in the world, but she glows, man. She is one beautiful girl, and those teeth, smile, just a natural beauty. I don't know. I always think that the happy people are the prettiest or the most attractive.
She's happy out there. And she wasn't happy 4 years ago, right? She had to take a step back. She looks a lot better this year.
And just totally joy. Yeah, joy filled. Okay, so you have some very interesting facts. And again, if people don't know this, know that the Olympic Village is a sex fest. It's Sexapalooza. It's more sex than Woodstock from what we hear. And there's Ginger comes armed with some fascinating details to back that up. So hit us with whatever you got.
So Olympic sex facts. There are many. I found these from different news sources that have gotten info from Olympians. So, it's went through a couple different words of mouth at this point, but I'm doing my best to give some direct quotes. So Ryan Lochte, obviously very famous Mr. Olympic swimmer, he estimated
and a gator. We always like to brag about that. Yeah.
Well, we're both gators. Yeah, he estimated that about 70 to 75% of Olympians are getting it on after hours. And the different sources are saying that most people are the serious Olympians, which I would assume are all of them, but
right.
They said the serious Olympians are very focused up until their event. And then post-event, it is a party, and that people will get condos all throughout the city, because a lot of times there's, people have like roommates in the Olympic Village and there's some restrictions there, but people throw crazy parties and all sorts of different things. And then post events, people want to get their like energy out, stress out. So sex is it. Lockie actually talked about how they would go to bars and pubs all night and stuff because the swimmers go towards the beginning of the Olympics. And at some point, I guess one of the guys on his team had the bright idea to go have sex on their balcony.
Nice.
And another Olympic team saw it and complained about it. And then their coach had to sit the U.S. Olympic swim team down and give them the birds and bees talk, as he described it. So that's kind of a funny anecdote. But yeah, crazy stuff. So 2012, the rumor is that in the London Olympics, within like minutes of all the Olympians arriving, Grindr shut down. Which, if you don't know Grindr, it is the gay, not even dating app. It's more of like a sex app. That's kind of what it's.
Okay.
It's like we give Tinder a bad rep, but like Grindr has double the like, not bad rep, but it's for sex. That's
okay.
What it's foremost.
You're not gonna meet someone on Grindr and go and have a romantic dinner with flowers.
It doesn't sound like that's the typical experience. Then again, Not a gay man, never been on Grindr, but it is. We're not talking the straights, we're not talking the lesbians, we are talking gay men. So I'm going to make an assumption that either there's a lot of gay men around the Olympics, or that maybe, because I know you can do this on some dating apps, that you can set your location, and maybe gay men were all setting their location to London.
Oh, okay.
So that they can match with Olympians.
Okay. Ooh, well, yeah. Oh my gosh. If I were single and in the town of an Olympic Games, I'd be doing whatever I could to meet a gold medal hottie, or even a bronze medal hottie, whatever.
It's a huge TikTok trend right now to get Tinder Gold, and which will let you set your location wherever and set it to the Olympic Village. And all these people are like matching with Olympians and stuff, which is cool. I kind of think it stinks for the Olympians who are looking for someone to see while they're there, that it's flooded with all these people from TikTok. But I see appeal because, you know what? If I was single, I'd do it too. I'd do it too.
Would you? Would you?
Probably. Why not? I don't know if I'd do, but if it was like $2, I'd probably see what Olympians were around.
So one of the things I think is interesting, and I'm sure you know this, maybe you don't, but there's a phenomenon where many athletes will abstain from sex completely in the weeks or months leading up to their competition because I guess it helps preserve something inside them. I don't know what it is, but they do.
What was I to say?
So I'm wondering if those athletes are being celibate up until the point of competition. Of course, the alcohol and stuff can come into play once they're actually done with their events. But I wonder how many take a vow of celibacy between a certain point and their event.
I would be interested to know what they were going for with that. If it was, because I could see if somebody was like, I just want to focus on my event. Okay, cutting sex out of the picture might help you do that. Or I don't want to retain an injury while I'm having sex, because that definitely happens. But as for like general health benefits, sex is super healthy. So I hope none of them are being like recommended to do that by a doctor, because I mean, it reduces stress, it helps with heart health. You live longer being more sexually
That's right.
active. So I don't know.
Huh.
That I had never heard of that actually. I feel like maybe that's a thing that people would do in other areas of their life too, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Abstaining for this or that. The other thing is you brought up Ryan Lochte, and I remember him saying that maybe it was Brazil Olympics that he went to and he was single. Or I'm sorry, he had a girlfriend and he was very remorseful about showing up to the Olympic Village in a committed relationship. So when he went to London, he was all single and gangbusters, and he had sworn to make his impact. Leave his mark on London. So
Good for him.
he's
Go for it.
he's happily married with a couple of kids right now. Yeah, I think he's actually lives here in Gainesville, so he's doing great. But I bet there's a bunch of British gals or global gals who have some Ryan Lochte stories to share.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good pub story. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I feel like any Olympian that is not in an extremely committed relationship, if you care a lot about the person, stay with that person. But if you're like, no, we're just kind of, don't go into the Olympics with a situationship. You know what I mean?
Yes. Look at you with the lingo. Situationship.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
I'm an Olympian. Okay. Another one. Let's talk condoms. We'll get to them out. But in Beijing, the Olympic motto, faster, higher, stronger, and the Olympic rings were printed on all of the condoms, which I think is crazy. Faster, higher, stronger. What an incredible innuendo.
Absolutely. And I support that. I think, why not? Right?
Why the hell not? You know what's also great is I've seen, in researching this, I've seen all these great advertisements for like safe sex and condom usage from the Olympic boards or surrounding the Olympics, where the condoms are like in the colors of the Olympic rings, and they put them like the rings, or they've got the rings and then they go down in the all sorts of cute advertisements. Great marketing. Whoever's on the marketing team is doing great. And they've put
really
a
fun
in safe sex. It's very fun. They make it fun. And they've changed their safe sex strategy from being a more abstinent only to going with the World Health Organization recommendations to have more pleasure-based sex education, because by reducing the shame around it, they increase condom usage per percent of people having sex. And then they also increase, what was it, like self-confidence and different things, which is great for being in the Olympics. And then, just decreasing shame in general. People are a lot more likely to be safe, because around the AIDS epidemic, I mean, they were real worried about people coming into the Olympics and spreading HIV. Yeah. So I'm glad that they have shifted their educational policies to be a little bit more pleasure-based, because people are much more receptive to that.
Okay. So the packaging on the Olympic condoms are on brand. What else you got for me?
Okay. So in 2000, the Sydney Games brought in 50,000 condoms, but it wasn't enough. They very quickly ran out and had to get 20,000 shipped in more, which is a lot. It is a lot. But last Summer Olympics, well, actually, we'll talk about now. Right now, 300,000 contraceptive methods are in the Olympics right now being shipped in. I say contraceptive methods because there's 200,000 condoms.
Okay.
And then they have dental dams, female condoms, all sorts of other things. But 300,000 was the number. But in Rio, they passed out 450,000 condoms, which is 42 per athlete.
Wow. That's pretty sexy. That's a very sexy experience, those Olympic Games. And Rio makes sense. It's a very sexy place, I think, Rio.
Yeah, which means, and that's not to say every single one of those condoms was used, but even if half of them were used, that means that not only were 70% of the Olympians having sex, they were having sex every day, 3 times a day.
Wow.
Yeah, like the sheer amount of sexual activity going on at these Olympics is nuts. And I have no doubt that Paris, out of all of these cities, is probably the most down to clown. I mean, the opening ceremony
Yeah.
it started with a threesome. Love it. They were just
Yeah.
saying, you know what? Let me give you a taste of what these athletes are feeling tonight.
I guess. I got to tell you, I thought it was a little cringy. I didn't enjoy that part, but I'm also not
Get it?
freaking out over it. I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that kind of stuff. I appreciated it for being like a cool artsy video, and it's not that I didn't like it. I thought it was like oddly placed, but
Yeah. Out of place. Why there? Why there?
yeah,
But
I think if I had to gander, I think they're supposed to represent where they live, and City of Love is a part of it. City of Freak.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so maybe that was them. That was their ode to that. But
I guess.
it seemed kind of random if you weren't being analytical, though.
Yeah. It was like, what is this doing here? Why? It's not that may not have its place in the world, but it seemed strange for a worldwide broadcast and a family experience. But to each their own, I guess. Now I've also seen that there was 100,000 female condoms delivered in Rio.
In Rio, that I don't
Yeah.
know if that was in the 450,000 count or not. That might have been
Okay.
extra.
Yeah. And I don't really even, I got to tell you, I don't understand a female condom. I haven't used,
So-
haven't done any research on it. So explain that.
Yeah. A female condom is something that a woman has complete control over, which is nice because, you know, with a man, sometimes you have to rely on them to bring a condom, bring one that fits. You can always have one ready, but they have to be willing to put it on. By having a female condom, it's actually something that you can put in before sex. And it is 2 rings, and one of them is closed at the top, and one of them is open at the bottom. And then there is a condom-like material, like some sort of latex situation that connects them so that it's like a condom but bigger.
Okay.
And with rings. So you set the one ring inside, and the other ring,
That's the closed one.
the closed one you put inside
Okay.
your vagina, and then the open one sits outside the vulva, and so somebody can have sex with you, and it creates a barrier. So
Okay.
it's not something you put on the penis, but rather something you put in the vagina, and then you can have sex, and yeah, it prevents sperm from getting through. It's not quite as effective as a male condom, but they are just personal preferences. That's all it really is.
Okay. But
Thank
you. Thank you. Okay. Give me some more Olympic sex fun facts.
Okay. In GQ, it was noted that one of the Olympians said that somebody once woke up in the village one morning with nothing but a baguette on. So, on where? I'd like to know.
Right.
It's a lot of really different locations that
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to read a quote from an Olympian that stayed anonymous that was talking to one of the news sources. She called herself Victoria, and she went to the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. She said, "By the time the competition was over, I only had one thing on my mind: to hook up and release up this pent-up energy. It's crazy in the village. Athletes download Tinder for just those 2 weeks and set their location a few miles radius of the Olympic village. And both men and women are always looking for a good catch." She said, amongst your closest friends in the team, there's another mini Olympics happening, the hookup Olympics. And so in her games, she says that there are competitions on who can kiss the most people in one night, who can get a gold medalist into bed, and who can find out which sports team has the best performance on and off the field. So, yeah, which I think is so funny and so fun.
I totally would have been the kissing Olympic one. I would have seen how many I could have kissed.
Good for you, Queen. Yeah, no. I think that's hilarious. I would wonder what the male athletes equivalent were, because I'm sure they were on similar vibes, but to see what they were. I know, like, as a camp counselor, it is a very, I would say, like, demographically similar environment where
Right.
you are young adults who are usually college age, good looking, in stuck together in a cramped up space, a cramped up, stressful space for 8 weeks. And I wouldn't say it's anything quite like crazy Olympics, but there are definitely shenanigans that go on. And
Mm-hmm.
I know beforehand, there would definitely, the boys would talk about, ooh, what girls am I going to get with this summer? Or I would sit and I would pair people and I would have a bingo card of who was going to kiss each other, who was going to break up, who was going to whatever. It's just like major drama. And I mean, sounds like it's very similar at the Olympics. And some of the kitchen staff were interviewed and saying if you stay long enough, you definitely like see people start to pair up over the
Yeah.
times there. I just think it's really, really interesting. But yeah, I will say,
I've
go for
go
it.
on. I've heard it correlated to a frat party, that just the Olympic Games. And I hear that the athletes are often just roaming around inside the halls in all their underwears. Because again, or undergarments, because they're incredible athletes with these super fit bodies, that there's not a lot of modesty. And then here's something I'm thinking about. So 2 things with the international stuff. So on the condom note, I don't know if this is relevant to the Olympic Games, but when I went to Russia, I was maybe 21, and I worked on the cruise ship. And so we ported in Russia and I got off, and oh my gosh, the Russian soldiers were very sweet to me. They all called me Solnishka, which means sunshine, which I liked very, very much. But I toured all the interesting places in St. Petersburg, which is the old Leningrad. And I came to this black market. And the black market is a place where it's supposed to be illegal, but it's out there in the public and it's a fenced in area. And it's a flea market, people selling things. And I'm not sure why it's a black market and why it was protected, but it was. And so I went in to buy some stuff. I bought a couple of military uniforms, and I bought a
You bought
very
military uniforms?
yeah,
Russian military uniforms?
yes. And
For
I was
what?
bullied into it just because it was cool. Just
Oh, okay.
2 very cool ones. I was like, why not? Anywho, but what they told me in the black market is they asked if I had condoms. And at first I was like, what do you mean, do I have condoms? They said, we need condoms. And so that night I got back on the ship and I went to the first aid box outside the crew bar, the officers lounge where I would eat. And I got like strips of condoms. And then the next day I went back to the black market and I was able to buy stuff with these condoms. So I don't know how, I mean, it's been quite a while since I've been there, but yeah, they just didn't have the same access we did. So it'll be interesting to know if any of these athletes are, stashing their duffel bags with condoms, the Olympic branded condoms to bring home. But then here's the other thing is international folks have international ways. And there was this one really hunky guy on the cruise ship. What was his name? Oh, I think it was Johannes or something like that. Anyways, he was Austrian. He was super cute, blonde and tan, and just this gorgeous, gorgeous guy. And so he took me out on kind of a date in Amsterdam, and we went on the river. He took me on a little boat, and I think we did the horse-drawn carriage. And he was very, very cute. And so that night on the top of this ship, we went to have the big first kiss type thing. And so I kiss him the normal way people kiss for maybe, 10 seconds. And then this Austrian gorgeous man takes his mouth, and I kid you not, starts making out with my nose. And I was like,
Whoa,
what the hell is going on? He literally was trying to French my nose. And I stopped that. I just said, what are you doing? He was like, I'm kissing you. And I said, no longer. And so I wonder what kind of confusion is happening. There you go. I mean, we imagined it all to be hot, amazing, perfect sex, but there
no,
might be
I
some
imagine
real
it's very strange sex a lot of the time.
yes.
I mean,
Well,
language barriers just statistically, people are so much less likely to like orgasm when they have sex with someone only once or for the first
okay.
time. And, you're not likely to be able to communicate what you like. But also
Right.
these people are they're some of the most elite people on earth. So I
Yeah.
would be interested. Also, like, are they all used to getting exactly what they want or getting treated exactly what they want because they're fancy Olympians and now people maybe are at the same level as them? Or, how is it if you're someone on Team America that is so powerful or like you're gold medalist? And what about just some country that's just like trying to put someone forward? Like you saw some of those boats with like 20 people or like the refugee team. Oh my God. Did you see the poor refugee team? That man that ate crap during his event?
No, I didn't.
I mean, I got a lot of respect for all those people who come out.
Of course. Of course, it's such a brave thing to do.
Yeah. And he was doing really well, but I just tripped.
What did he tripped?
He tripped.
And what?
He was trying to, he was running track, something track. Okay. He was trying to, how the track athletes can kind of veer into each other's lanes?
Yes.
He was trying to get in front of some other guys and just tripped, and then they all tripped over him. So it was just a tough scenario, but he made it through. He made it through. He was last, but he made it through. But I mean, like, it's just awesome that he's even out there in the first place. But
so going back to that though, I feel like communication and then grooming. Like, what if people groom differently around the world?
Oh, that kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, and then foreskins. Can we talk about foreskins? Huge difference.
Sure can.
Yeah. Well, because there's countries where, gots to have that foreskin. America, not so much. And then there are the countries where it can be typical of young men to get their foreskins cut off when they're older, which can leave like scarring, desensitization, infection, all these other sorts of things. And, just cleanliness in general can be hard with or without a foreskin, but it's just different. It's different to deal with.
Well, also, I mean, people are eating different foods culturally. There's some people who eat some things that might make their breath smell or other
parts might make other parts of their body
unusual. I imagine there's a bunch of great sex and there's a whole bunch of weird sex for sure. There's a whole bunch of surprisings. Oh, I didn't expect that coming out of some of the participants, right?
You ever heard the term for the bit?
No.
Okay. For the bit is something we talk a lot about in college. It is like doing something for the sake of a story the next morning.
Okay.
Like,
sure.
Like I might see a guy across the bar when I was single, and I might be like, well, he's not the cutest and I don't want to see him tomorrow, but I'm going to go talk to him for the bit,
Got it.
I'm gonna go, or somebody's wearing like a rainbow afro wig, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to kiss them for the bit. Something you do so you have a story the next morning. I feel like there's a good chance that a lot of these Olympians go into some of these interactions like, all right, I'm here. I'm at the Olympics. I better come out of here having a story. And I think you probably get that a lot of times. Yeah, you're good.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, how
could the whole experience?
Well, here's what we're going to do, because we can't talk about individual people because it's #inappropriate. What teams do you think are gold medalists in these sexlympics? And I'm not talking America. I'm talking like swimming, sports. What sports?
Okay. Huh. Well, I would imagine the gymnasts have something special up their sleeves, so I'm going to give it to the gymnasts.
That's a good point. I think both male and female gymnasts are probably complete winners in the bedroom. The men are short, right?
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. It might, for some people, it might be but you know what? Everyone's the same height horizontal.
So there you go. Perhaps to an extent. So gymnasts for sure. I would maybe go to the judo folks because they're bendy and strong with great.
What is that?
So, judo? You don't know what that is? Kind of like wrestling.
Oh, okay. Cool.
What do you think?
Wrestling. You know what? I think synchronized swimmers. I'm thinking synchronized swimmers. I think they've got the strength of a normal swimmer, but they've got different levels of flexibility and like body control, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can hold their breath a long time, which can occasionally be good. They come in handy.
Right. Of course. Okay, so this is someone I think, which some of my listeners are going to be so cranky with me because they're part of this. But I would say the cyclists, whether you're doing mountain biking or the long distance riding, might not be so good because they might have really sore crotches based off of sitting on those horrible little seats for a long time.
Yeah.
They might not be game. They might just be like, the hoo-ha is on a break because of my bike seat. So
here's my question. Does the Olympics have a triathlon?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think triathletes are probably not the people you want to get with on the Olympics, because I was watching those triathletes finish up their event, and it's like people are coming through and just collapsing at the finish line left and right. The first place people, and then everyone's coming through and projectile vomiting and like,
okay.
I don't want to touch that person for at least a month after whatever they just went through. I don't think they've got it in them physically.
So they've worked too hard. They're too spent to have anything left to get it on.
Too spent, plus the crotch thing.
Yeah. The crotch thing is not a delightful thing. You know what? There's part of me likes riding a bike, but I don't like the crotch pain. I don't like the diapers. I think the diapers, which are those shorts, cyclists and triathletes, whenever you're on a bike, to protect your crotch, you wear padded biker shorts. Yeah. And I think they're so gosh darn unattractive. They take these beautiful people with these very fit, healthy bodies, and they just, I can't.
Oh yeah, for the sake of comfort. Yeah.
Yeah. I might rather have a sore hoo-ha. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we just shot down the cyclists and the triathletes, but with good reason. I mean, if their nether regions can withstand all of the burdens that a bike puts upon them, then give them a go, right? And who else? Yeah. Who else do we think would be great?
You know who I would not take home if I were an Olympian?
What?
A fencer.
Oh, how come?
Lame. Is that bad to say? I think it's a little lame.
I think fencing is very cool. But you have your...
Yeah. That's what everyone says.
Poor fencers.
Like sharpshooting. Yeah. I mean, sharpshooting looks cool, but I don't know that you need a lot of muscle for that as much as you need like good eyeballs, which is not a trait that is... I mean, I'm sure they're fine in bed. I'm sure they're just as good as any other person. But like, if you're looking for Olympian sex, don't grab a sharpshooter.
Don't grab a sharpshooter. No, you want to grab someone who actually uses their body to compete. All right. I don't know. I mean, obviously we could...
In bed?
Say it again?
You know who's probably crazy in bed?
Who's that?
Rugby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and well, there's female and male. But I can imagine the guys are like crazy testosterone. That would be pretty impressive.
I would say either way, if you get a rugby player, male or female, you almost guarantee that they are a dominant human being.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you're into, go rugby.
Yeah. This is the other possibly sexiest thing that happens at the Olympic Games is the haka. It's the New Zealand. I think it's called haka. Yeah. So hot, right? And they're like, and it's all the very manly energy. People pick on guys all the time. I dig.
The girls do it too. Have you seen the ladies do it?
I have, and kudos to them. They do it great. But I'm looking at the guys thinking, woo-wee, right?
Yeah,
oh
can't judge the ladies.
I do think the haka is pretty hot. I like it very much.
The haka is super hot. I think it's cool.
We should bring that here and make it a Koehler thing. Like we could create our own little.
I don't think they're going to want that. It's very sacred. It's very sacred to their people. And I don't know if it is the same region or not. It's probably not. But there's another team, I believe a Polynesian team, but I'm not.
Okay.
Which one. I would hate to say the wrong team. But there's a team that got up in the morning and sang this like beautiful, they all go sing together. And they sang this just like beautiful melody. And it sounded to me like something Polynesian. That's what it sounded like.
Okay.
But it was beautiful. And all of the Olympians were going outside in the village being like, what is this sound? And I saw several Olympians that were videotaping like, look what we woke up to. And it was just beautiful, especially for a group of people that is not there for their singing abilities. They
Right.
sing beautifully.
Okay, this is what that reminds me of. The Who's down in Who Village on Christmas morning. Right?
Doris. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
So, okay, more sex facts. What else you got? Do you have anything more?
Unfortunately, as Summer Sanders, a swimmer, once said, what happens in the village stays in the village. And therefore, there actually aren't a lot of sex facts that I was able to find. So that's what I've got for you today.
Okay. Well, that was great sex facts conversation. I bet now everybody is going to watch the Olympic Games, and I hope everybody's watching. You do your own little evaluation. Do these athletes probably kill it in the bedroom or on the balcony or wherever
they're doing it. The cardboard beds.
Oh, let's talk about the cardboard beds, because I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, well, they were, as the news outlets are putting it, they're debunked that they're made to be anti-sex beds.
Okay, and tell people what they are if people have not heard of the cardboard beds.
I wish I knew a little bit more about them, but I know I believe several Olympic Games, they have put beds made, like twin beds made of cardboard in.
Okay, it's the bed frame is made of cardboard.
Yeah, well, yeah, the bedding is.
Okay, yeah.
But the bed frame is made of cardboard or like a very not sturdy material. People were saying it was to prevent Olympians from having sex. Other people are saying, no, this is just the material we needed. I don't think it matters so much what the intention was, because there's not a lot of way to prove that. So much is the fact that the beds could have prevented sex, but they did not. They didn't.
No, that's right. You can't hold these Olympians and their desires back, right? They are freaky people, and they got to do their thing, win their medals, compete. Yeah. What a way to celebrate, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it's a big FU to the anti-sex man. I think it also, I believe it was a big deal when it was in Tokyo, which is a much more conservative area. And they were like, you guys don't want us to have sex. And they were like, but now that Paris has them or similar ones, people are kind of like, oh, wait, well, Paris doesn't care. So this is probably just what they actually needed us to be in for money reasons. It's so expensive to host those Olympics. My Lord.
Yeah, well, they get so much funding. I mean, it's billions of dollars, but each community that hosts the Olympics, their community is enhanced so much with stadiums and pools and athletic facilities.
Like crazy debt from it.
Maybe that I don't know, but I feel like the tourism benefits overall even things out. But that's
I think it would be easy to guess that, but a lot of places rally against having the Olympics because they don't want to host it because it causes such economic turmoil in their area and it's so expensive. I mean, do you see the people who were crapping in the, I don't know how you say,
Seine River?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I mean, people.
So did they ever do that? Because they were saying, the Seine was supposed to be cleaned up because of the Olympics. So then because people haven't swam in that river for over 100 years. And then they were supposed to clean it up.
Trapped in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like, it's going to be clear blue. And they had their mayor come out or their president
swim in it. Yeah.
In it, but it looked disgusting. I think a month from now, all the Olympians that had to dive in it, for instance, are going to have some sort of horrible bacteria.
Well, I think if they're going to have it, they're going to have it now. I think the triathlon took off yesterday. So there's either going to be lots of diarrhea reported today or Paris gets lucky and those athletes go home healthy. But yeah,
that's not something to joke around with too.
No.
I think about, I'm once again camp counselor and we have a lake and we've had some really serious issues that have gotten people hospitalized that have come from infections in the lake. And it's not something to mess around with.
No, having said that, most of the triathletes will tell you that they deal with this type of stuff at many of their competitions. This is not new to them. So they seemed pretty confident with the fact that they're, if it tests okay, they're okay with it. So hopefully it serves everybody well.
I would just expect better from the Olympics, but I see how if this is your thing and your games and this is the freaking Olympics and you qualified, like you're going to do it. You're going to do it.
Right.
It's going to happen and you hope for the best. But we will see. Give it a little bit of time and we'll see how those news reports come out. If it was a yay or a nay, if it was hashtag worth it or not.
Hashtag worth it. Okay. So here's the deal. My commitment to everyone is to get some more Olympians on my show moving forward and get some juicy, gory details from someone who's lived it. Huh?
Get some sexy Olympians.
Don't do it.
Don't take any uggos. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
What?
No.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, we love them all. We love them all. So I will try to get some dirt firsthand. Dirt. I mean, gosh, everyone I've had has been like, "Oh no, we didn't do any of that. I just mind my own business." And I think you're like liar.
Other people's
liar. Completely.
Come on. You can tell me. You can tell me. Give him one of those.
Okay, Ginger. It is time for you to give Song of the Week.
Yes. I have a song. And for once, it's not Megan Thee Stallion. I'm going to do Truth or Dare by Tyla.
Okay, I don't know if I've heard that.
Tyla is super cute. I believe she is a South African artist that is coming up. You've probably heard some of her songs before. She's gotten very famous for her dancing. She's very beautiful, very beautiful. But I really like this song, and it's been stuck in my head today. It's like, Truth or Dare, tell me, do you care? And she's got a great beat in the background. So listen to that song. It's a little low key.
Okay. And listen to it while you're working out. So whether you're stretching or you're dancing or you're playing racquetball, check out Truth or Dare. You can get it for free on some sort of streaming service. Just find it. And Ginger, I don't think I've told you this, but I have written 3 books recently.
Have you?
That's right. The Healthy Cancer Comeback series. Did you know this?
I did not even know you were an author.
Yeah. Guess what kind of people should be reading these books?
People who have cancer.
People who have cancer or have had cancer. And apparently they're really helpful. You know, I went to my annual gyno yesterday and she told me that her husband has a recurrence of his cancer. And she told him he had to read my book. So
yeah. And you know what milestone you just hit that you should share in the podcast? I'm going to let you share it. Fitz Koehler, my madre, is officially 5 years out of chemotherapy.
5 years cancer-free, only 4 years out of chemo.
Free. Is it real?
Yeah.
Is it really? No. That's what I put in my thing. Is that since last chemo?
It's 5 years remission. That they removed the tumor on July 30th, 2019, my tumor in my lymph nodes, and then I had 10 more months of chemo after that. But that's okay.
I mixed up, but she's 5 years in remission.
Yeah. And once you hit this point, so much less likely to have a recurrence. It's still possible, but I am deciding that it's not coming back. It's definitely not coming back, and we're going to be fine.
Why would it come back? You already kicked its butt. No,
that's right. You should be afraid of me. That's right. I don't want to poke it.
One round of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. Boom. We're done. We're done. I'm done, and you're done. Thank you for tolerating. I'm tolerating my cancer.
I'm done. Next time, if you get cancer again, I'm just taking your boobs, throwing them in the Seine River.
That's right. Yeah, just so you know, there won't be a second time.
I don't expect it. I don't expect it. But in this alternate universe,
nope. It's just not going to happen for me nor for you. We're a cancer-free family forever and ever. Amen.
Cancer-free. Yeah, I second the notion. And on that note,
hey, listen, guys, if you haven't done so already, follow Ginger on Instagram. She's Ginger and Spice, but it's Ginger with 2 R's _ Spice. She's awesome on Instagram and has so much to offer. Also, she's been announcing Mud Girl races as well. She just had so much fun with the women in Flint, Michigan, and August 10th and 11th. She will be in Chicago making happy noise at their start line. And I'm going to post those schedules very soon. And then if you haven't done so already, follow Fitzness everywhere and leave a stinking review, right, Ginger?
Yeah, leave a stinking review. Not one that's stinking, but you know.
Yeah, leave a good, positive, stinking review. All right. I love you so much. Thank you for coming to talk about Olympic sex with me. You're the best.
There's you too. You're welcome.
All right. Tell everybody to get to work.
Get to work.
Bye, team.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to give the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Koehler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.